Allen Pals. It's the Allen Pals Show. Yeah. Where we lock you low. Come on. It's the Allen Pals Show. Yeah. Where we lock you low. Come on. It's the Allen Pals Show. Yeah. Where we lock you low. It's the Allen Pals Show. Yeah. Where we lock you low. Come on. Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the Allen Powell Show Tuesday night. Lot going on in the sports world. Oh man, Deshaun Watson is in trouble. Shaq and Candace Parker went at it about a suggestion, and man, March Madness is going on. But I want to start, and my guy Cliff is going to join us in a minute. If you've seen the video, man, my guy Demetrius Tony from D3T Productions, man, made that. He passed away, man, and just a shout out to him, man, for putting that video together. Sad that we lost that brother, man, very talented brother, man, but I was able to work with him, and just a tribute to the work that he did, man. Glad I was able to finally get that up and running, and just to show y'all the talent that he had. But with all that being said, let's lock and load and get into the show. March Madness is in full effect. And man, we are down to the Sweet 16. We are down to the Sweet 16 teams. Me, myself, I was going for all the local teams. Just so happened, one of the local teams beat the other local team. So now I'm riding with Loyola. I thought Illinois had a good chance to win a national championship, but they got upset by Loyola. And now the number 8 seed, we're going to be rolling with now. So if you're watching the NCAA tournament, tell me who you are rocking with. It's been a lot of upsets. And I've been just all over the place trying to watch all these games, man, but it's getting down to the nitty gritty now. And I'm really about to get all the way invested into the NCAA tournament. Just tell me your thoughts on what's your thoughts on the NCAA tournament, the upsets, who you got winning it now, that our Illinois Fighting Illini is out. Who do you got winning? And post your comments, and we're going to be posting them on the show, talking about the comments. So I just want to know your thoughts, man. I have an issue, though. I have an issue with one of the teams that's in the NCAA tournament. That team is Oregon. So the Oregon got a bye basically in the last round against VCU because of COVID reasons. So they just got a bye. This is what I don't like. I don't like it that a team can get basically a bye in the middle of a tournament because of COVID. I don't know what to do about it. I just don't like it. If they somehow happen to win the whole thing, it's definitely going to be an asterisk for me next to that. I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling the whole bye that they had. So what are your thoughts on the NCAA tournament so far? Who do you got winning the whole thing? I'm gonna ride this Loyola chain, Sister Jean. Did you hear the prayer that she did before playing Illinois? She basically gave a scouting report, and they came out with the victory. So I need her to do that prayer every game now. Give a scouting report on every team. See if we can ride this prayer all the way to the national championship. So who do Loyola got next? Oral Roberts. I need Sister Jean to be on the prayer line. I need her to give a scouting report on Oral Roberts. What are they good at? What are they not good at? She's basically the coach, another coach for Loyola. Who do you all got rolling in the Sweet 16 with the 16 teams that's left? Tell me who you got. let me see if I can see the last. Well, I got to cut off. But who do you got? Who do you got in the NCAA tournament? And tell me what you got. Sister Jean is now the quarterback for the Bears. Hey, the Bears need some help, man. If Sister Jean can help the Bears out, we would greatly appreciate it. We need all the help we can get. But yes, Sweet 16 is here. What do you like about the NCAA tournament? I think they're in a bubble, and so they're not traveling. And it's been okay. It's been okay, but it's still not the same for me. Still not the same with the fans. T.L. Williams says she got Villanova. She haven't watched not one game. Let's see, is Villanova even still in? They are in it. Oh, she got Villanova. Let's see. Why do you have Villanova? Why do you have a reason? Do you like their colors? What is it about Villanova that you like, that you picked Villanova to win the whole thing? That's what I want to know. Can you tell me that? Can you tell me that? But like I said, I had an issue with Oregon, man. If they so happen to win it, man, that's gonna be an asterisk for me. Other news regarding the NCAA. So something came out about let's see, Tierra says I like their name. So that's why she's going with Villanova. She likes the name. So that's what she got. It is what it is. I take it. I take it. I will take it. I will take it. But it was another story that came out that locker room issue. So it was a locker room issue that came out that the women's locker room is the picture to the left. I don't know if it's the left on your screen, and the men's was on the right. In today's technology, everything is coming out. And when this got shown, all the comments came out about how wrong it was. As T.L. Williams says, male privilege. That's exactly what it looks like. It definitely looks like that. It's not a good look. I don't even understand how it got allowed for a woman's workout area to look like that. Just one area is they got yoga mats and weights, and that's it. And then the men's locker room is huge, got plenty of spaces, but it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Thank you for tuning in, Gerline. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. But is it male privilege? Is it male privilege? I wonder what the reason is. Is it the funds? Is it that the men's might be bringing in more money? What is it? Because I don't know. I would hope that it's not male privilege, but this picture got put out, and then everyone from the NBA to college said that how wrong it was, and then it got handled. Why couldn't they just share? That's a good question. I'm thinking that maybe time frames didn't work out. But this is the new facility after the fuss was made. Now this is the new women's facility after everybody got put on blast. The NCAA got put on blast, and now quickly the president said this is not right, and then it got rectified. So, but if my thing is, if nobody would have put it on blast, nobody would have noticed. I thank God for today's technology. A lot of people think sometimes it goes too far. Everybody's in the business. You video everything. But if it doesn't get told, if it doesn't get seen, sometimes people will never know. This was the women's locker room, yoga mats and weights, and the men got all that space, many different spots to work out, and that was just ridiculous. And so now the women have a better facility. It still doesn't look like as many spots as the men have, but it's better. So it's progress. So I'm happy about that. But ridiculous that the women had to deal with this. And I can just imagine they've been dealing with this for a long time, a super long time. So that was just awful, and glad that the president fixed that problem, and they have better facilities now. But we'll see. I think they should even upgrade it even more. They should upgrade it even more. But we'll see what happens. We'll stay tuned and see what happens with that story. Another story I want to get to is, man, Deshaun Watson, quarterback of the Houston Texans, excuse me, has a lot of allegations that's been coming out. So it started with one. It started with one person alleging of sexual misconduct, sexual assault. They saying this brother is in massage parlors, getting a massage, and then having the massage people touch his penis, and doing different things for sexual acts, all type of things. It started out with one person, and that one person said, "You know what? I mean, Deshaun said to that one person, he got the lawyer, Rusty Harden, said the allegations are meritless, and he says they just looking for a 6-figure come up, and he's going to clear his name. He's going to clear his name, and the truth is going to come out." But then the numbers kept adding up. I don't even know what the number is at this point. I think it's up to double digits. Double digits. My man Marky Mark says, "Can't stay away from them happy endings." Listen, man. Hey, one lady said when she came in, met him at a location, he locked the door and locked the door after him, and then it just got like, hey, he said, "I won't make you sign the NDA disclosure, but hey." And all these women are saying the same things. So I don't know how that looks. I'm going to have my legal analyst come on probably next week and see what he thinks about that as a lawyer. What is his thoughts? But when the first one came out, I said, okay, all right, maybe he can, get out of this. But all these women that's coming forward now, I don't know. It's a civil suit. They're not taking it the other route. It's just a civil suit. So I don't know if that makes it like they're just looking for money, or why they didn't file charges, or whatever the case may be. But all these women that's coming forward is not a good look. When the one came forward, I said, okay. But as you can see on this picture, it's 6 on this picture alone. And the number's supposed to be up to, I would say about at least like 14, maybe. It's just not a good look at all, man. So I would say this. It's interesting that he demanded a trade. He wanted out of Houston, and then immediately after that, all these allegations came out. I don't know if it's any correlation, but I don't even know if a team can even go after him now after all these allegations. He is a quarterback, so quarterbacks, and he's a high-profile quarterback, so those are different. Those situations are different. But we don't know what's going to come out of this situation. Do teams still want him after these allegations, after all these women have come forward? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Tierra Williams says, "I wonder is UE connected to T.I. and Tiny's sex ring allegations?" Are you saying is this tied up to that? I don't know exactly what you're saying right there. But Deshaun Watson is in some hot water. And he got a great lawyer, though. That Rusty Harden guy, I didn't heard of him, man. That brother is no joke. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's Johnny Cochran, but Rusty Harden has done done some high profile cases in his day. So I know Deshaun Watson is paying big money for this lawyer, and I welcome my guy Cliff Mason of the Mason Report to the show. Right now we are talking about Deshaun Watson. I know you're not the biggest football fan these days, but this high profile quarterback is in some hot water. He's been alleged of sexual assault, misconduct, going to massage parlors, and having the women touch his genital areas and different things like that. It was just one woman at first. Now it's up in the double digits. So it's going to be interesting to see how it comes out. I wanted my legal analyst, Justin Camper, to come on, but he had some things he had to do. But I look forward to him coming in the future to give us the legalities of a civil suit and how that goes. But just hearing the story, Cliff, man, what was your thoughts?
I mean, it seems almost the cycle continues. Are you here? Sorry, are you hearing the echo from me?
No.
Oh,
I hear you.
The cycle continues of the perceived misconduct in the NFL and a lack of accountability. Now, I believe in due process, and I think that this brother's going to have an opportunity to defend himself in court. But we're talking about people got to remember. I see the comment just trying to take down another black man. I don't see it that way because sadly, most of us know someone or know someone who knows someone who's been assaulted sexually or harassed. And so because of the heightened level of scrutiny that women experience, and I mean, their professional journeys are, dramatically impacted. The cases in which people are lying is just so minute that we should assume that these allegations have some modicum of truth to them. And so I don't think NFL fans should fear that there's going to be some any accountability because they don't hold anyone accountable. They didn't hold Ben Roethlisberger accountable. They didn't hold Jameis Winston accountable. They didn't hold, nobody's held accountable in the NFL for misconduct. So I did not know this about Deshaun Watson, but I would say, I just read the comment.
Man, you off the chain, man.
Yeah, it's tough because I tend to believe survivors when they're sharing their stories because it's so tough for them to come forward. But at the same time, we have to respect the process and it's like let him bring witnesses and he has an opportunity to defend himself. But to this person's point, we know why they go to these places. And if they have that expectation, if they're forcing themselves on people, I think they should be held accountable by the law.
So our lawyer, I don't know if he, but see, when Justin Camper make this comment, I don't know if he's lawyer Justin Camper or Jay Camp the Champ making this comment. I think it's a Jay Camp the Champ making this comment. I don't think this the lawyer Justin Camper making that comment. It's two different people here. But is it a possibility that it is trying to take down the black man? And I will say this, before you answer, he requested a trade during this whole offseason. He wants out of Houston. And he was been making a big stink. And then this comes. Do you make any correlation to that? And then is it possible that they trying to take down the black man? Is it possible? And they say, they did say they was hearing the echo too. I don't know if they still hearing it or not. I don't hear echo, but they did say they was hearing the echo.
Yeah, I can. That's why.
Are you hearing the echo on your side as well?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, I know when they say the echo, we probably need to use the headphones when that happens. But
you know what?
You're playing on my. Now I hear echo. Yeah, it is. Matter of fact, I think I hear your echo. But just go ahead, man. Go ahead. Just Talk, because I still can hear you.
I would say if we were talking one woman, maybe two, there could you can claim conspiracy. But you're saying that the number of survivors / victims is reaching the double digits?
They said double digits. They said it's a crazy echo too, so we might need to get some headphones.
I'm gonna get my headphones.
Might need to get some headphones. Yeah, get your headphones. We're gonna clear this up real quick. I'm gonna go through some comments. And if his headphones don't work, I might have to go get my headphones. We're gonna make it work. I wish I was on the line. Yes, and listen, you know what? I was talking to one of my guys as well, as far as tech guys, and I might get a line, man. I used to have a call-in line, and I might get it back, man. So we're gonna work on that as well, man. We making some moves around here, man. We're gonna get this thing right because I need all the opinions. Justin Camper, you watch it. Is this J Camp the Champ talking, or is it Justin Camper the lawyer? Tell me in the comments which one is talking right now, because I think it's J Camp the Champ, but I could be wrong. No echoes here. I have an iPhone. Oh, so is it an iPhone thing going on right here? Is that throwing shade at the Androids, Kenny? Is that some shade getting thrown at the Androids? Oh, he said we good now. So maybe it was the headphones, Cliff. Maybe it was the headphones. So go ahead, Cliff, man. Is it possible that they're trying to take down the black people? And do you find it any coincidence that he's been demanding the trade, been saying he won out of Houston, and then all of a sudden these allegations come like just all over the place? I mean, in the double digits now.
The reason that doesn't make sense is because who benefits from that? Houston doesn't benefit. Because if the idea is that Houston's in a conspiracy to take him down, they're going to lose out on this person who now. So if they're trying to, essentially, if the idea is we conspire with these women to make these allegations so that he'll stay. Now they've tarnished his credibility. They've tarnished, everything about this man's record. And so who would want him? Now he's damaged goods. So this is why, to me, it's like that whole conspiracy theory is a little far-fetched because nobody benefits from the allegations. Houston doesn't benefit. Clearly, Deshaun Watson doesn't benefit. Who gains in that scenario?
Well, I would say this, because we know when you're a high-profile player, it's not the same as if you a regular guy. They can just release you and get rid of it. They ain't got to deal with the PR. But if you're Houston, now we're like, okay, if we think nobody's going to really touch you, maybe we can fix the relationship now. Look, they can come out and say, you know what? We're going to back you, and we're going to show we got your back now. Let's go ahead and fix this. You know what I'm saying? And if he get the right lawyer, you know, you can pay some stuff off. And slowly but surely it'll go away. The Ben Roethlisberger went away, and look at him now. So, I mean, we know that it can get fixed. Kenny Ford says if he stay with Houston, all charges will be dropped. So he seems like he's in a mindset that he is like, hey, if he stay with Houston, they might try to find some way to get these charges dropped. What do you think about that?
I think whichever franchise he takes his talents to steal the Broncos line is going to try trying to do whatever they can in the legal system to have the charges dropped. But it'll be interesting if, let's say, he decides to stay with Houston and the charges are immediately dropped. Then that will kind of pique my interest of whether or not there's some foul play with Houston being involved. And I think there's going to be a leak where if Houston's involved in this, how do they keep that secret?
Hey, man,
there's got to be a leak after that.
It's hard to keep secrets, but they will keep it a secret. But I think later on down the line, it will probably be a 30 for 30, some breaking news, it'll get leaked after the fact.
Yeah.
But you can keep some stuff under wraps. But Deshaun Watson has came out and says he's done nothing wrong. He treat women nothing but the utmost respect. What do you think about him coming out strongly saying that? Do you believe him or do you believe the women?
I mean, I think I always naturally believe the women, but I also, if a person is innocent, then I say no, of course, like express your innocence, because the worst thing is to be falsely accused. Because like I said earlier, there are going to be segments of the population who are never going to believe you, who are always going to associate you with this, with this terrible, like allegation. And so you can't really recover from that socially. So if he's innocent, I got no problem with his PR folks encouraging him to make these statements and just coming out forcefully saying, I have nothing to do with the disrespect or the harassment or the assault of these women. But if he knows he's guilty, I don't know what makes these people think that they can come out and deny it and they're going to get away with it, because chickens always come home to roost. If he did it, he needs to, I don't know, he's going to need an Olivia Pope to help him out of this one.
Olivia Pope, scandal reference. Marky Mark says, no, he gone. Justin, first of all, do you think he's gone from Houston, or will he remain in Houston? I know you don't. I don't even know if I should have asked you that, but
is he a free agent? Is he gonna?
Nah, he's under contract. He's just an angry person under contract. He wants out.
Well, he's gonna be an angry under contract Texan next year. That's what he's gonna be. And to answer,
but you see, he's trying to pull the James Harden card. James Harden done it. Players been doing it lately. He's a high-profile quarterback. Why can't he do it?
Because James Harden is arguably a top 5 player in the NBA.
Deshaun Watson he's a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Is he?
Yes. Oh, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Then this is a different conversation, because that would mean Houston could garner 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and future seconds. I think a team could put together. If you're saying the guy's that good, can you imagine the type of packages?
And he's young. He's just now hitting his prime. So, and they saying if he gets traded, this is going to be the biggest haul in NFL history as far as return that they get back. Yeah,
because you're not going to. I think teams trying to hit the draft lottery, when you got a guy that good, forget the draft. You give up all the firsts in the world to get a guy like that on your roster. If you think you got a roster built to win, and you're just that one piece away, which is the most important piece away from being competitive to being AFC or NFC champion, you go out and pull all the stops. So I think you could get 2, maybe 3 firsts, 5 seconds, and that could be, you could talk about rebuild. They'll be back in business within a year after that kind of haul.
Listen, the Bears was about to give up 3 first-round draft picks, a couple of starters for Russell Wilson, and he's older than Deshaun Watson. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a haul. Justin Camper says, why should we automatically believe accusations? We need to look at the evidence and evaluate. Go ahead.
We should automatically believe accusations. I'm not saying we should automatically believe, but I think that we should tend to be on the side of believing women, because we know that statistically women do not come forward unless they're telling the truth. The data for people that are actually making these stories up is just so minuscule. We're talking about a microscopic fraction of all of the folks that actually do come forward, which is a fraction of the people who have actually been harassed and assaulted, because they never get justice. They're ridiculed, they're scrutinized, they lose work, they lose their friends. In the media, they become these public entities. It's so difficult for women to come forward. If you read just John Krakauer's Missoula, you can read, there's so many texts that talk about this issue on college campuses. We went to law school with someone who the school didn't support. It's so prevalent in society. And so that's why I just naturally say, I tend to believe survivor stories, because we know that it's so prevalent in our society.
But isn't it supposed to be innocent until proven guilty? I know it's not like that, but it's supposed to be like that.
Sadly, innocent until proven guilty. And then depending on what your racial makeup is, you can be Brock Turner, that Stanford swimmer, who gets a slap on the wrist after raping a woman outside of a dumpster or beside a dumpster outside of a bar. And so depending on what your racial makeup is will determine what kind of justice that people can see.
TJ Strick says 16.5, really like 20 though. Oh, I think he's saying the number of people that has come forward now. That's the number that it's up to. So I think when it was just one, like cool, okay, this probably not gonna be too much. But when it get up to these numbers, now it's like the odds, I feel like it's stacked against them. It's like, can all these women be lying? And
Exactly.
so that's why when I get my lawyer on, I really want him to break this down, because at that point, it's like, okay, you need to go ahead and just try to make a settlement because it's too many women at this point. I don't know. But he also says, no, historical white women have lied on black men. What about that? That's another thing I want to ask you. I know it's been stories of women who also have lied before, you know, and I mean, I think it's been people that's been behind bars and, you know, it come out that they didn't do it. Not even just with rapes or anything like that, but just with you know, murder or any other type of laws that was broken. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess I separate. Historically, this is true. I mean, heck, from Emmett Till, right? And that woman didn't come forward and tell the truth until decades later, right? So we know historically that there has been a racial element to this fabrication of the experience of white women and black men, right? I mean, we think back to now the name has escaped me. That the film glorifying the Klan that was it President Wilson showed in the White House. It's going to bother me. So we know historically that's a factor. But the reason that I tend to go with just statistics is because of the data. And just even, I mean, when I was in law school working in the public defender's office and just seeing the sheer volume of folks that are, we know, responsible for committing these acts. With the Me Too women have a lot to gain by lying. No, women have not. No, see, this perpetuating this type of non-factual. There is not. Women literally have nothing to gain from coming forward.
Time out. I actually kind of agree with them because they have the backing now of the Me Too movement, and you can't just throw them away now. You can't just throw them to the side and say that they're lying. Like they have a whole backing behind them.
We shouldn't throw it to the side.
I'm not saying that it's not good, but I'm just saying they have a lot to gain if they were to lie. If they were lying, they do have a lot to gain.
What would they gain?
A lot of money if they win.
Oh, you mean a lot of money?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but that's not. There's so much. I mean, these women, like the Me Too movement, essentially is kind of social media powered, right? I mean, there's no money really to gain from this. It was solidarity between folks who have had similar experiences and saying, yeah, me too. I've also been harassed at work. I've also been assaulted. I've also been threatened. I've also had.
Listen, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but we can't just act like automatically that it did happen. Like we have to have a balance. Like you have to realize that it's been people that lied before, right, Cliff? Come on now.
Yes, there is, but the number of people lying compared to people telling the truth, like to me, it's like we're talking about 1 versus 50,000. I mean, he used the next comment, Bill Cosby. So Bill Cosby, women didn't gain anything. They were telling the truth. He was drugging those women. That's the worst example he could have used.
Hey, Kenny Forrest said, what's wrong with happy ending? He didn't take it. I'm sure he paid for it. Do you think, hey, hold on. Do you think it's a possibility that he paid for it, but they still came after the fact?
I think that's possible, and that to me leads to a whole nother conversation about sex work, which I've talked about in other venues, and I think that this country is kind of behind the ball when it comes to codifying ways to support that industry, because we see some of our peer nations abroad that have codified and provided support for that industry. And we've just, because of kind of the Christian, right, the Judeo-Christian nature of our founding, it's difficult for folks to, despite the First Amendment, it's like throw the First Amendment out the door. No establishment of religion, no free exercise clause, doesn't matter. We're still going to allow these Judeo-Christian beliefs to kind of determine what we allow and what we don't allow. But
if they paid for it and then still came after the fact and made these claims, what do you think about that?
If he, well, I think there's still a question is, if he paid for X but demanded Y, right? So I guess it's, what did you pay for? What did you demand afterwards, or what did you force? Because if you paid for X and got X, to me, no violation. It's really, was what was paid for received, and was there an additional demand afterwards? Was there a heightened expectation? Was there a feeling of next week? Was there pressure? My question is, was there enhanced pressure placed on these women? Because again, even if you paid for it, there might have been some undue pressure where these women might have felt like, you know what, if I did not do it, then I would, my job might be jeopardized, or my life can be threatened. I don't know until I would kind of read some of the affidavits and learn, like, what are they claiming that he did? What is he saying that he did? Is he saying that he wasn't at these places and that there nothing at all happened that was nefarious?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that just seems, I don't know, that just seems too incredible to me. And so I think that there's 20 women? I mean, no.
20 women now.
No, he was going to this place more than likely. And I think the evidence will show that he was frequenting this place. And I think there'll be a large swell of like some consistency in the affidavit to acknowledge, yeah, he did have these expectations. He did this with this person. He did this with this person. He might have paid for this with this person, maybe forgot to with another person, and there was an expectation, and then some undue pressure placed on them.
J Camp says J Camp the champ this week and the lawyer next week. I figured it was J Camp the champ. I knew I was right. I knew there wasn't the lawyer. It's J Camp the champ. So, you know, when y'all see him next week as the lawyer, don't look at him as J Camp the champ. It's two different people. He might have to dress different too. You might have to have two different outfits. You know, the lawyer, come on, he might be suited and booted like you, but J Camp the champ, you know, he might have to have something else on. Couple other stories I want to get to because I know you got other things you got to do, so I want to make sure I get you out at a decent time. Is the Shaq and Candace Parker situation? They had some words. And Shaq, I feel like, has been getting in trouble a lot lately. I don't think he knows how to be kind of PC. He's been just getting into it with Donovan Mitchell, and he just been coming off the cusp, and people are not feeling Shaq right now.
Can I just say something before we get into this with Candace Parker?
Yeah,
I've had Shaq is, to your point, he struggles with being PC, but to me, it goes beyond PC. You're a black man. We've all grown up in this country. We know that colorism is real. Yeah. And I think, to me, I've had a problem with Shaq ever since he made that foolish statement talking about, I'm the black Steph Curry. It's like, this man is an NBA star. He's got 2 black parents. He's got 3 black kids. He's got a black wife. He is a black man. But for Shaq to say, I'm the black Steph Curry, to me was such an insulting degradation of how Steph Curry identifies. And I've always found that just to be so offensive, because we deal with colorism outside of our community. But, you know, I mean, growing up, I imagine as not a dark skinned, but a darker skinned black man, we have to deal with this in our professional lives. We have to deal with this in academia. And so it's like, why would you even make this statement like you're trying to gain an audience being funny? It's like, why did you think that was funny? And 2, it's like, who are you trying to appeal to? And so I always wondered why no one ever called him out on that, because I never saw anyone come out, and not Jalen Rose, not Charles, nobody ever called him out on that. And it's like, you know what, this is, to me, it's like, this is really insulting, and I think he has a responsibility as a media personality to apologize to Steph Curry for making that statement. But Sorry, I didn't want to grandstand, but that's always stuck with me.
So the comment that he made, and I'll try to get the video, but I didn't get enough time to do it. But he basically said he's seen the WNBA go from here to here. He's saying it's getting better. But he has a suggestion. He's saying they should lower the rim so they can dunk like the men. And the way he delivered it, it came off kind of y'all can't do it like us. Y'all need some help, you know. But I'm gonna say this. I think if he would have said it better, I kind of agree with him. Look at it like this.
Yeah.
They're not dunking like the men. That's just point blank and period. True. And to be honest, if we looking at it, in my opinion, though I believe the way God built us, men are naturally more athletic than women. Not taking anything away from women. It's a lot of athletic women out there. But I think it's more athletic men than athletic women just by our makeup. By our makeup. This is just me. Listen. So, if you lower the rim, I actually like the idea. I know the way he delivered it wasn't the best, but I think you would get more highlights, more alley-oops. I don't think that they would be like, oh, she's only doing that because the rim lowered. They'd be like, man, that was a nice dunk. What do you think about the idea? And do you think it was taking shots at the women like y'all can't do what we do, or was it a good suggestion?
It's not taking shots at women. Remember, you're talking to a women's basketball coach, so I have a very different perspective of the men's game versus the women's game. Men are not more athletic than women, because athleticism has to do with your agility. It has to do with hand-eye coordination. It has to do with all of that. Men are faster and stronger because of the testosterone production. So that's just pure biology.
The great point. I think that's really what I meant because of our genetic makeup, the testosterone, that part, and that part. Yeah.
So because of testosterone production, we jump higher, we run faster, we lift heavier weights. But the women's game. So, and this is coming as a women's basketball coach, right? I am a head varsity women's basketball coach. It's a different game. Yes, you're dribbling the same ball. You're playing on the same length of court. And the objective is the same. Score more points than your opponent. Have them score less points than you. But if we think about the organization, the structure, the discipline, you think about ball movement, to me, I think less mistakes are made. Men make more mistakes because they try to make up for these mistakes with athleticism, to your point. Okay. Whereas women, I think, play a more well-rounded team game that somewhat emulates the Golden State Warriors dynasty era. Okay. It's funny because we talk about it as if it was many ages ago. We're talking just a few years ago. But the Warriors dynasty era, if you like watching basketball for basketball's sake, I would say watch the women's game. For folks just learning the game, watch the women's game, because you'll see.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think they're more fundamentally sound than the men right now. But if we're being honest, we like the alley-oops, we like the highlights, we like the different things.
No, okay. Tell the truth. Did you prefer watching the Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire Phoenix Suns, or did you prefer watching the pick and roll of the Utah Jazz?
Amari the Suns. Give me Amari.
Way.
Nobody wants to watch a pick and roll with Stockton and them alone all day, every day.
Oh, that's a lie.
That's exactly why LeBron said what he said when on the All-Star weekend. He said nobody picked Utah and when we was playing video games. Nobody picked them. But I guarantee you they picked Amari and them Suns. Listen, you're in the minority on this, for sure.
No way. Here's another pick and roll team that we all grew up loving, that we all picked on NBA Jam. Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. They ran the pick and roll.
Rain Man.
Yeah, but you can have, think back to the Lisa Leslie, I forget who her point guard was. They ran the pick and roll, and they ran it to perfection. It couldn't be stopped. Cheryl Swoops ran the pick and roll at USC. I mean, Cheryl Miller, at USC.
I'm gonna put a poll up. Would you rather watch Stockton and Malone pick and roll, or Amari and Steve Nash Suns? And I guarantee you, it's gonna be a landslide by the Suns.
Do that one.
Care about that.
Do that one. Then also do. Would you rather watch an efficiently run motion like the Golden State Warriors versus Lob City of the Clippers?
Say that one more time. You said Lob City and who else?
The Lob City and the Clippers versus an efficiently motion run offense with the Golden State Warriors. People are going to say the better looking basketball with the Warriors.
Listen, we are in the entertainment industry. We want to see Lob City all day. Blake, DeAndre, alley oops all over the place. Come on, man. But the motion is good.
We don't watch to see them dunk. That's why
it's like chicks dig the long ball. Chicks dig dunking more than the 3-point. The 3-point is good, but it's not dunking, brother. It's not slam dunk in your face. It's not highlight reel like dunking is.
Okay.
It's not.
Who was the more popular player in the 80s? Dr. J or Larry Bird?
I would say Larry.
Which one of them was dunking?
That's one situation. That's one. And let's not pretend that his whiteness didn't play a role in that. Ms. Brown Sugar says
played a role in that.
Listen, look, Ms. Brown Sugar says Lob City, and I could tell you for a fact that women definitely want to see Lob City in the dunks. They want the highlights. My wife loved watching highlights. She don't want to see no motion offense. A lot of people like simple things. They don't want to have to dissect what is this, why is he running over here. They don't want to do all of that. They want my wife, when watching football, she want to see passes. She said, I hate when they just get the ball and run in the middle. She hated it.
Oh, see, I love watching the ground game. I want to see 40 carries in a game, 180 yards on average, a 4-yard average, grind it out and win. Defense and offense.
So look,
I
know for a fact I will have the women on my side, and I think I will have half the men. So you lost.
I don't know if that's
I will say this. Matter of fact, I got 90% of the women. I give you 10% because there's gonna be some diehard women basketball fans who like the game. But I'm gonna have 90% of the women, and then I'm gonna have 50% of the men, and then you lose. Ms. Brown Sugar says we like action.
But let me take it back to the question, because this is the question. We're talking Shaq, Candace Parker.
Right, and I got a question too. Kenny Lowe says how low for the rim. So I want you to tell me, was it a good suggestion? And I want you to answer me if they do lower the rim, how low? Because I think Shaq said 9 feet. I think 9 feet 8.5. But go ahead.
The question really should be: is the women's game going to be enhanced? Because if we're talking strictly for entertainment, yeah, they're entertainers, right? We know professional athletes are entertainers,
right?
I guess really at all levels, not just professional. They are entertainers. But the question is, does it enhance the game? I don't think it enhances the game, because if the rims are lowered so that more people can dunk, that's going to change how the game is played. And I think people who love the game as it's currently constructed, I don't know if it's going to, because if the goal is to raise the I guess the audience size for the women's game, okay, maybe lowering the rims might increase the size of the audience. Is it going to enhance the game? No, in my view.
I think he's specifically talking about building the audience. You know what I mean? They're trying to build. They're trying to get better pay for the women, and to get that, I think you need some more excitement. You need more. It would have to be
8.5 feet, because I don't even think lowering it 9 feet would mean that you're going to dramatically have more people dunking, because we already heard people dunking. I would prefer a 4-point shot over lowering the rims. To me, lowering the rims is just, to me, that's just egregious. I would much prefer adding a 4-point shot a little deeper. But I would say, because Ms. Brown Sugar says the goal is to broaden the audience. If the goal is to broaden the audience, then fine, lower the rim. It just won't. As a women's basketball coach, I won't be a fan of it because I think you'll now have basketball players trying to do something different than this this team game or this team-oriented game has been so beautiful to watch and to play and to coach for so many years.
But it seems like just the fact that he even uttered those words out of his mouth, that Candace Parker was just irritated by it. Like, before he even got it. Why though? If you're trying to broaden the audience, why? And eventually it's gonna get you more money. So why? I just don't think they don't like Shaq like that either. But go ahead. Why would she get irritated like that? Why? Is it a slight? You think she got slighted?
I think because the implication is that the women's game is inherently lacking and we need to do something. Because if you would admit, I think you would agree, this would be an extreme shift in the game. We're not talking about, to me, adding a 4-point field goal is an extreme. Lowering the rim height, the rim has been the same height since the game was created, right? So if we're talking about something as extreme as lowering the rim height, that's a big deal. The 3-point line was added after the game had been around for 60 years. That's not extreme to me. Adding a 4-point line, okay, that's the next iteration. And then maybe there'll be 5 if you shoot it from beyond half court. Changing the rim height is extreme. And so for her, she's probably like, wow, that's an insult. You think our game is that lacking that we got to change the rim height?
You don't, but you don't think it's that big of a difference between the men and the women? You can look at the salaries and tell that it is.
But that's got nothing to do with the game. That's got to do with marketing, and that has to do with this. First of all, their salary caps are dramatically different. For a women's team can't pay their play. They got a $3.1 million salary cap. That's what people make on the practice squad in the NBA.
But so you know why? But you know why, right? Because they can't fill the seats that the men do. Because they don't have the excitement that the men do. If you lower the rims, I'm telling you, you get more highlight reels. You'll be more on ESPN. That's more publicity.
Would you rather watch the Detroit Pistons or Gino Ariema's UConn basketball team?
Another one of these questions. This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna keep coming up with scenario. You know who you sound like? I don't know if you watch this show. You sound like Julius from Everybody Hates Chris. He always say, what if Martin Luther King would have quit? Or what if Malcolm X would have quit? You just keep coming up with scenarios of who would you rather watch. I'm not playing this game with you no more. That game is over with. I know you got to get up out of here. So real quick, have you been watching the March Madness, and who do you got left out of the Sweet 16 if you've been watching?
Oh, easy. Alabama. I think Alabama. It's tough to say that they've been slept on because they are a 2 seed, but I think because they play in the SEC, which typically isn't a marquee kind of basketball conference, I like Alabama and Michigan. I think people are hesitant to pick Michigan after what they went through in the early 90s, but I don't see how Alabama and Michigan don't make it to next weekend.
I'm shocked that you said Alabama. That was a shock. I haven't heard that. A lot of people picking Alabama. And I know I didn't get a chance to talk to you about Oregon got a bye week in the middle of the tournament because of COVID. Like, man, if they win the whole thing, it's definitely an asterisk next to that, man. Like, how you give a 10 just
this? I had a question for you. I wonder. See, the reason I think the NCAA got away with letting them pass is because they were the lower seed, the 7 versus the 10. VCU was the 10 seed. Now imagine if it was flipped. If Oregon had the COVID test and VCU was in this, I don't know if they would have moved VCU on. I think they would have bring one of those teams that had to do the play-in. I wonder if they would have replaced Oregon with the play-in. But because it was the lower seed that benefited anyways, I wonder if that was a factor in the NCAA's decision to just say, you know what, Oregon, you advance. Because I can't imagine they would advance a higher seeded team without having to compete to go on to the next round. And so I was just curious if you thought that was a factor.
I don't think it was a factor. I just think they just trying to keep the train moving. We like, hey, we just gonna move them all, keep it moving. We're gonna get this money because they getting their TV money. You know, they missed the tournament last year. They gonna say, hey, we just gonna move them all and hope they don't win the whole thing. But before we get up out of here, my come to church scriptures, Genesis 4:3. I'm listening to this series, Paper Chasers, talking about giving. And this scripture says, as time passed, Cain brought an offering to God from the produce of his farm. Abel also brought an offering, but from the firstborn animals of his herd, choice cuts of meat. God liked Abel and his offering, but Cain and his offering didn't get his approval. Cain lost his temper and went, and if you know the story, Cain killed his brother Abel because he was mad that God loved Abel's offering better. So it's talking about giving, man, and I'm working on trying to be consistent myself on giving God my first before I get to spending everything. Just giving him a percentage, giving him 10% of my earnings, and not the leftovers. Because if you look at this story, it's like Cain. It just says Cain brought an offering, but it specifically said Abel brought an offering. But it says, but from the firstborn of animals of his herd, the choice cuts of meat. We know choice cuts sounds like the great parts. And so, God looked up on that, man. So I encourage you to give God your first, your choice cuts. They had animals at that time. We have money. So I challenge you to do that, and I believe that God will do some great things for you. So Ms. Brown Sugar, the women seem to be lacking the philanthropy piece too. Give more and find creative ways to integrate WNBA into media, more marketing. So that's just another comment about the women on how to build the audience up. I know you got to get up out of here, man. I appreciate you. You the busiest man I know. Everybody's follow his the Mason Report every Tuesday. Before he jumps on here, he got his Mason Report, the politics. Subscribe to our YouTube, follow and like and review our page. Follow us on Instagram. A lot of people is buying merch, man. If you want to represent the show, message me. You can purchase your own merchandise. And if you know somebody that got a business, want to advertise, they can do that on this show. Thank you, brother. You want to tell tell anybody what they can look forward to on your next show? You know what's going to be on your next show?
Yeah, we didn't get to. I mean, I apologize for being late today. I mean, I was in meetings all the way up until showtime. We were going to discuss Colorado. One thing I just want to say, my heart goes out to the families and the victims at the Boulder shooting. I mean, I've lost 3 people to gun violence, so it's something that touches my heart. And I've always spoken out against it. I would say we're going to discuss Colorado. We're going to discuss a range of issues. So it's Truth Hour. My co-host Trishonda Sheffy, who does it with me. But go to YouTube, Mason Report on YouTube, and you can find the playlist for Truth Hour and subscribe, and you'll get the notifications. And typically we record every Tuesday. You're Central, so 6 o'clock Central time.
There you go. There you go. So if you love politics, man, tune into that brother show, man. Once again, rest in peace to our brother Demetrius, who took my show to another level, man. And this is the video that he put together. We're going to continue to use this video now that I finally got it up, man. So as I get up out of here, shout out to D3TTV, man. And I'm going to miss you, brother. That brother was man, he was doing some great things, man. So as we get up out of here, check this video out, and rest in peace to Demetrius Tony. We are out of here.
We lock and load, Alan Pants. It's the Alan Pants Show. Yeah. We lock and load.